Hi, my name is Kamya Williams. Just a little bit about myself. I am a junior right now in college. I am currently at Barrow Community College right now. However, I do plan on transferring to the University of Central Florida into their nursing program, which has been a long dream of mine, just working in the medical field and being able to help with, the medical problems that people face. But I know for this video and I know for today is all about the person that impacted us, who made a difference in our lives, who made us the person that we are today. And I'm so grateful that I have somebody like that I can say, had an impact on me. And that would be my high school teacher and mentor, my science teacher, more specifically, Mr. Barrow. To answer some of the questions, to me, inspiration isn't always about like someone doing something big and flashy and just huge where it grabs a lot of people's attention. I feel as though sometimes inspiration is about the person who sees you when you don't even see yourself, when you don't even know your own value, your own strength, the own courage that you have inside of yourself. And that's what Mr. Barrow did for me. Like I said, he was my high school science teacher from 11th to 12th grade. And he was, teaching me all things of science, anatomy, physiology, all that fun stuff. And at the time, just getting out of COVID, my 11th grade year, we were still in the process of COVID. In 12th grade year, we finally got out of it where people weren't really wearing masks like that. So, of course, I was dealing with a lot, transitioning from school to school, never really in a stable home or environment. As a high school student, that was a lot to deal with. I was carrying these feelings of maybe I wasn't smart enough, maybe I didn't belong in these spaces, and especially being in his class, going in there, they're like, look, this teacher is serious. Like he he seeks for students who really want to learn and care for medicine and want to really make an impact in that field. So that's why he pushes students so hard. Um, and just hearing that all about science and medicine and all the things that he requires students to do, it was it seemed like so much like maybe I wasn't cut out for it, maybe I shouldn't be in the medical field. And of course in the beginning, I was struggling a little bit because I never been to that place of such high, like, expectation before. So in that classroom, I doubted myself a lot. I didn't think I was as good as the other students. And, I tried my best, as I could. But when you have that self doubt, when you don't have that confidence, it can really jeopardize your own strength. But something I really appreciate about Mr. Barrow is the fact he never treated me like, I didn't belong. He always treated his students with care. In fact, he allowed me to grow. I remember like one day we were answering questions in class about the human body, and he would have all these interesting like stuff. I don't know, I just love anatomy and science, so I always found it interesting. And I answered the question, and always like as I begin to grow in the class and as I begin to really like apply myself, he would be like, good job, Kamai, that was very thoughtful. And of course there was times in class where students would raise their hand, and one thing my mom always taught me was like, make sure you are that student to raise your hand, make sure you're that student to answer a question when nobody else is answering it. So when he gave me those words of encouragement whenever I answered, like, oh, Kamaya, that was very thoughtful, that was very great, like it always kind of stuck with me because it's like I'm recognized. And that was one of the class where I was the most verbal in. So from that point, like I slowly started to change. I showed up, I started raising my hand more, I answered more questions. When we had projects, I would, go over and beyond. We would make 3D models. It was just so great to kind of see myself grow because he allowed me that space. He encouraged me, he gave me tips, he gave me tricks. And of course I wasn't like, he didn't sing me, he did that to everybody. But it's just something I take personally because I just see myself grow so much. And he even said it to me himself, to the point where he actually wrote my first letter of recommendation when I started applying to colleges. He's seen so much in me, and he's seen me as not only a student but a future medical, you know, a medical person, a medical specialist, and whatever I wanted to do. So I just thank Mr. Barrow for not just being, you know, a teacher, but being a mentor, being that light, being that person to push me and help me want to do better and do more. And that is something that I can always hold on with me through the hard times. Um, so that is my story, and I want to thank Best College Reviews for giving me a chance to share this story.